Hi guys, welcome back to Fort Reads. Tonight we're going to be reading a story called Dragon Train. Once there was a town called Wimblington. Next to this town was a mountain, and on this mountain lived a friendly dragon called Frazzlenose. He loved steam trains. It might have been because they puffed out smoke rather like he did, or because they carried lots of his favorite food, coal. The fact remained that he was never happier than when he was flying along next to a train, especially the Wimblington Express. The trouble was, the people on the train didn't know that Frazzlenose was a kind dragon. Every time he appeared, they screamed, "It's a dragon! Quick, hide! He'll sizzle us up to a crisp with his breath!" So Frazzlenose had to be content with following the train from up high in the sky out of the sight of the nervous passengers. Wimblington was in a large country governed by a large queen called Good Queen Daisy. It was her custom every New Year's Day to choose a town in her queendom for a special royal visit. The town would be known as the Royal Town for the whole year and receive a gold statue of the queen. It was the greatest honor a town could have. One day, whilst the people of Wimblington were going about their normal business, a messenger galloped into the market square on his horse. Hear ye," he proclaimed in a loud voice to the people, who were quickly gathering around. "Know ye that Her Royal Highness Good Queen Daisy has elected the humble town of Wimblington for the most splendoriferous honor that any town—" "Get to the point, will ya?" a man interrupted. "Yeah, it's freezing standing around here," said the woman. The crowd grumbled with agreement. The messenger sighed, put down his royal scroll, and said, "You're gonna be the next royal town." "Hooray! Huzzah! Hoo-wibble!" shouted the people. Then they pulled the man from his horse and gave him a plate full of peanut butter sandwiches and a huge mug of tea. His horse got a bucket of oats. "The Queen will arrive New Year's Day to make the official announcement," said the messenger between mouthfuls. Then he finished his tea and with a big slurp climbed onto his horse and rode back down the road, hiccuping loudly as he went. During the next few days, the people were very busy. The town was tidied, swept, cleaned, scrubbed, and polished for the royal visit. Pillar boxes gleamed, lampposts sparkled, and you could see your face in the cobblestones. The train was also cleaned, for on the morning of New Year's Day it would leave to pick up the queen from her palace. At last New Year's Day arrived. The train was given one last-minute polish, and the red carpet was laid out ready for when it returned carrying the most important person. The people scrambled on board and were excited that they didn't really notice the snow was beginning to fall. The Wimblington Express puffed out of the station and began the journey to the palace. Frazzlenose followed at a safe distance. The snow continued to fall. By the time the train reached the palace, the snow was almost as high as the funnel. The Queen's royal coach was joined onto the rest of the train, and all was ready for the return journey. But despite a lot of huffing and puffing and a good bit of chuffing, the train stayed absolutely still. It was stuck in the snow. "Oh dear," the Queen said. "What a to-do! I can't possibly get to Wimblington today. I shall have to find another nearer town. I'm very sorry." The people were overcome with disappointment. Some of them shed tears. Others just looked out the window at the still falling snow, thinking that it was unlikely that they would be chosen again. Even the train looked sad. Suddenly, from the gray, snowy clouds came a whooshing of wings and a crackle of a fiery breath. "It's the dragon!" they shouted. "As if things weren't bad enough, now he's come to finish us off." They put their hands over their heads and prepared to be burnt to a cinder. The next thing they knew, the train was moving. They looked out the windows and saw something quite astonishing. Sitting on the front of the train, breathing all the fire he could muster, was Frazzlenose. As he breathed, the snow on the railway tracks melted, and the train was slowly able to head for home. The people cheered with all their voices. 3 cheers for... Wait, what's the dragon's name again? Frazzlenose, shouted Frazzlenose between hot snorts. 3 cheers for Frazzlenose! Hip hip hoo-wibble! They chorused. Even the Queen joined in. The train got back to Wimblington, and the celebrations began. Good Queen Daisy made a speech that they all ate the biggest banquet the town had ever produced, and who do you think was the guest of honor? Frazzlenose, of course. He sat at the Queen's table wearing the train driver's hat and crunching away at his plate of coal. After that, Frazzlenose was allowed to travel on the train whenever he wanted to. He was even allowed into the cab, provided he promised not to eat all the coal. He was very useful when the engine needed an extra blast of fire on really steep hills. When the gold statue arrived from the Queen, on it were written the words, "To the royal town of Wimblington and to its dragon train." That was a cute story. Have a good night, guys.